There are moments in all of our lives when things feel unsteady, when the rhythm of life becomes chaotic. A job ends, a relationship shifts, or the sheer pace of daily living leaves us feeling scattered and stretched thin. In times like these, it's easy to feel powerless. But what if there was a different way to respond? One that doesn't just help us endure the storm, but remains steady within it. That's where the wisdom of Seneca comes in. His teachings, rooted in Stoic philosophy, aren't abstract ideas. They're lived guidance, practical, clear, and deeply relevant. Through the centuries, Stoicism has helped leaders, thinkers, and everyday people build strength from within, and today, it can offer us the same. By the end of this video, you'll have a toolkit of timeless Stoic principles that can help you stay grounded, no matter what life throws your way. If that's something you're ready for, stay with me. Let's explore how ancient insight can create modern resilience. And if you find value in this kind of content, consider subscribing. It's a small way to support what we're building here, but it makes a big difference. Now let's begin with something simple but transformative: focus. Seneca once wrote, "To be everywhere is to be nowhere." It's a gentle reminder in a world that pulls us in 100 directions at once. Stoicism teaches the strength of presence, of doing one thing fully rather than many things half-heartedly. In contrast to the noise of multitasking, focus invites depth. When we focus on a single task, whether it's work, a conversation, or simply making a meal, we allow ourselves to be fully there. The result is better work, less stress, and a stronger mind. Marcus Aurelius captured this beautifully. He wrote, "Concentrate every minute, like a man on doing what's in front of you with precise and genuine seriousness, with justice, and on freeing yourself from all other distractions." This isn't just about getting more done. It's about showing up more honestly, living more deeply, finding calm in the act of doing one thing well. Even Plato believed that focused attention could draw us closer to beauty and truth, because when we give our full care to something, we often uncover more meaning in it. Modern psychology echoes this. The brain doesn't multitask as well as we think. It switches. And that switching comes at a cost: stress, fatigue, and mistakes. When we stay with one thing at a time, the mind settles, clarity grows, and life becomes less frantic, more intentional. This practice is, in a sense, an act of self-respect. Aristotle might call it temperance, the habit of choosing what is right over what is easy, choosing attention over impulse, discipline over distraction. Even Socrates in his dialogues modeled the power of full attention, one question, one conversation, one truth at a time. So here's a small challenge. Wherever you are today, give one thing your full attention. Watch what happens. Notice the quiet strength that begins to grow inside you. Because the Stoics weren't just offering advice, they were offering a way to live, a steadier way, a clearer way. And maybe in today's world, a necessary one. Choosing to slow down and focus is more than just a productivity hack. It's a quiet rebellion against the noise of modern life. It's a return to something steadier. When we let go of constant multitasking and begin to live with more attention, we often notice a subtle but powerful shift. Not only do our outcomes improve, but so does our inner well-being. Now let's explore another foundational principle in Stoic philosophy: learning to govern our impulses. Seneca once wrote, "All the greatest torments are the result of an undisciplined mind." It's a clear truth. Many of the storms we face are stirred not by the world itself, but by how we react to it. When our impulses run unchecked, they often lead us to regret, confusion, or unnecessary pain. But Stoicism doesn't ask us to suppress our emotions. It asks us to understand them, to work with them, to respond, not react. It begins with self-awareness. Epictetus put it simply, No man is free who is not master of himself. Freedom, in this view, isn't about doing whatever we want. It's about not being enslaved by what we feel in a fleeting moment. When we notice our triggers, when we pause before acting on impulse, we open a small space. And in that space, we have a choice. Do we follow the pull of the moment, or do we act in line with who we truly want to be? This doesn't mean we reject our emotions. It means we learn from them. We let them inform us, but not control us. And over time, that practice becomes a form of inner strength. Aristotle spoke of virtue as a kind of balance, what he called the golden mean. Courage, for example, lives between cowardice and recklessness. Applied to our impulses, this means we're not aiming to become emotionless. We're aiming for grounded, thoughtful responses, the kind that reflect character, not chaos. Marcus Aurelius echoed this in Meditations, writing, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The world will always bring surprises, but we don't have to be thrown by every wave. We can learn to steer. To live this way is to turn philosophy into practice. It's not just about reading the words of Seneca or Epictetus. It's about applying them, asking ourselves in the heat of emotion, is this reaction serving me? Is it aligned with my values? That kind of inner dialogue, repeated, refined, builds resilience. It trains the mind to pause, to think, to choose. And over time, that choice becomes habit. That habit becomes character. And that character shapes a life of greater clarity, peace, and meaning. Controlling our impulses isn't about denying ourselves. It's about reclaiming ourselves. It's the path to deeper fulfillment, not because we avoid pain, but because we move through life with intention, not driven by the moment, but guided by wisdom. Be prepared. Seneca, ever a voice of steady wisdom, once advised, "Rehearse them in your mind. Exile, torture, war, shipwreck. All the terms of our human lot should be before our eyes." At first glance, this may sound dramatic. After all, most of us aren't facing exile or shipwreck. But what Seneca was pointing to wasn't fear, it was preparation. This practice, known as premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of adversity, isn't about pessimism. It's about resilience. It's the art of anticipating difficulty, not to live in dread, but to lessen the shock if and when it comes. When we mentally rehearse challenges, losing a job, facing a breakup, experiencing financial strain, we aren't inviting pain. We're strengthening our capacity to face it. Just as athletes train under pressure to meet the demands of real competition, we prepare our minds for life's unpredictability. This doesn't mean living in fear of what could go wrong. It means cultivating a readiness, a quiet confidence that whatever happens, we are not powerless. Let's say you're worried about losing your job. A Stoic approach wouldn't be to panic or ignore the thought. It would be to calmly prepare, update your resume, explore new opportunities, strengthen your skills. That preparation eases anxiety. And should the worst happen, you meet it, not with despair, but with composure. This kind of mental rehearsal also shifts perspective. When you've imagined worse, you start to see your current reality with more gratitude. The small problems feel lighter. You stop being caught off guard and start living with intention. Seneca's wisdom reminds us, being prepared is not about expecting disaster. It's about staying centered no matter what comes. Voluntarily embrace hardship. Seneca also wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." This is one of Stoicism's more radical but powerful practices, to deliberately engage with discomfort, not as punishment, but as training. Just like a runner who trains in harsh weather to build endurance, choosing hardship in a controlled way prepares us for real adversity. When we step into discomfort on purpose, Whether it's a challenging conversation, taking on unfamiliar work, or even simplifying our lifestyle, we're not just facing difficulty, we're expanding what we're capable of. The goal isn't to suffer, it's to build strength. If public speaking terrifies you, each time you choose to speak up, you chip away at that fear. Over time, what once overwhelmed you becomes manageable, and eventually it becomes a strength. This practice isn't about rejecting comfort, it's about redefining it. True comfort isn't found in avoiding hardship, it's found in knowing you can face it. That kind of peace can't be bought, it must be built. And when we choose discomfort, we also deepen our gratitude. Cold showers make warm ones feel more precious. Fasting teaches us to savor food. Going without, for a time, helps us better appreciate what we have. Each voluntary hardship becomes a quiet reminder. I can endure more than I thought. I am more capable than I believed. Over time, we develop a sense of self-efficacy, not from theory, but from experience. That self-trust is the foundation of true resilience. So the next time life offers you the easier path or the meaningful one, consider what Seneca would advise. Step into the arena. Challenge yourself. Grow not just stronger, but wiser. Because the Stoic life is not about avoiding discomfort. It's about meeting life, fully, honestly, and with strength you've earned from within. Let go of self-victimization. Seneca once wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." It's a clear and humbling reminder. Much of our pain comes not from events themselves, but from how we interpret them. When life doesn't go as planned, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking we're powerless, that things are happening to us rather than with us. But Stoicism offers a different way, one that invites us to take back our sense of agency. The Stoics taught that perception is everything. The meaning we assign to a challenge can either break us or shape us. If we choose to see ourselves as victims, we surrender our power. But if we view adversity as a teacher, we begin to reclaim our strength. Imagine this. You're passed over for a promotion. The immediate reaction might be frustration, disappointment, even resentment. Those feelings are natural. But Stoicism encourages us not to stop there. It asks us to pause and look deeper. What can I learn here? Is this an invitation to grow? Could this be guiding me towards something better, aligned with who I am becoming? Avoiding self-victimization doesn't mean pretending everything is fine. It means shifting from helplessness to curiosity. It means asking, how can I respond to this in a way that serves my growth? When we stop seeing ourselves as life's punching bag and start seeing ourselves as participants in a larger unfolding, we access a quiet kind of strength, the kind that doesn't need to control the outside world because it's grounded within. This shift also improves how we relate to others. When we stop blaming, we stop expecting others to rescue us. We engage with more compassion, more accountability. We understand that just as we are responsible for our peace, so is everyone else for theirs. In letting go of victimhood, we don't deny our struggles. We reframe them. We become the author of our own story again. And that's where real power begins. Spend time in solitude. Seneca offered this gentle instruction. Retire into yourself as much as you can. It's not an escape, it's a return. In a world that constantly demands our attention, solitude can feel unfamiliar, even uncomfortable. But to the Stoic, solitude is not isolation. It's clarity. It's connection to ourselves, to our values, and to what truly matters. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that the quietest, most reliable retreat is within his own soul. And he was right. Real solitude isn't about being physically alone. It's about creating space to hear your own thoughts, to reflect, to reset, to realign. When we regularly turn inward, we begin to notice what's truly driving us. Are our actions reflecting our principles, Are we reacting out of habit or choice? In this quiet space, we can ask questions that matter. We can process rather than suppress. Solitude is where self-awareness begins. It helps us move through the noise of life with intention rather than impulse. It's where we reconnect with the person we're becoming, and where we gently let go of who we no longer need to be. And with time, solitude becomes something more than a practice. It becomes a sanctuary, a place we can always return to, not to hide, but to remember. So take time to be with yourself, not to escape the world, but to meet it with greater clarity, strength, and stillness. Aristotle spoke often about the role of self-reflection in the pursuit of eudaimonia, a life of flourishing. For him, self-awareness wasn't just helpful, it was essential. Or he believed that to live meaningfully, we must regularly turn inward, examine our choices, and align them with reason and virtue. In solitude, we're offered a rare chance to pause, to step outside the noise and look honestly at who we're becoming. It's there, in stillness, that we can make thoughtful adjustments, guided not by impulse, but by our deeper values and longings. The Stoics, too, understood the quiet strength that solitude can build. Epictetus, for example, urged us to use time alone as a way to fortify the mind. He reminded us that it is in your power to withdraw whenever you wish. Perfect tranquility lies within the good ordering of your own mind. Solitude, then, isn't about isolation. It's a place where resilience is cultivated, where character is shaped. And when we return from that space, we often find ourselves more grounded, more present with others. We bring back empathy, patience, clarity. We listen better. We love better. In this way, solitude enriches not just our inner world, but our relationships too. It helps us show up in life with more intention and less reactivity. Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and Epictetus all left us reminders. Solitude is not an escape from life. It's a preparation for it, a way to meet the world with steadiness and depth. So as we reflect on these teachings, let's remember, they aren't just relics from another time. They're practices we can bring into our own lives, daily, quietly, deliberately. Stoicism isn't about avoiding pain or retreating from the world. It's about stepping into life, fully armed with focus, discipline, and grace. It's about learning to endure without bitterness, to act without ego, and to live with meaning no matter what we face. Self-reflection, inner discipline, the clarity that solitude offers. Each of these principles invites us to turn inward, not to escape the world, but to understand ourselves more deeply, to face our lives with honesty, and meet each moment with quiet courage. Stoicism doesn't promise ease. It doesn't shield us from pain. What it does offer is something more enduring, tools to navigate difficulty with grace, a mindset that helps us see obstacles not as dead ends, but as chances to strengthen our character. Hardships become invitations to practice patience, resilience, and virtue. When we live this way, we shift from merely getting through life to truly engaging with it. We stop waiting for peace to arrive from outside and start building it within. This is the heart of Stoic practice, a commitment to living deliberately, to showing up each day a little more rooted, a little more aware, to choosing growth over comfort, intention over impulse. So as we continue exploring these ancient teachings, let's carry their spirit into our everyday choices. Let's aim to be just a bit better than we were yesterday, not for perfection, but for progress. Not to impress others, but to live in deeper alignment with who we truly are. If you feel called to keep going, there are more videos waiting for you, designed to help you apply Stoicism in practical, everyday ways. Thank you for being here, for your time, your openness, and your willingness to grow. The path toward wisdom isn't quick or easy, but every step forward, no matter how small, moves you closer to a life of meaning. So keep going, quietly, steadily, bravely.